Hey guys, it's Chance, and this is going to be a video guide on how to install Hackintosh on a Gigabyte GA-Z97X-UD3H motherboard with an i5 4690k and a GTX 980. And to show you that it is all here, I mean, there's all the parts right there. Here's the 980, there's the processor, and you have to take out one stick of RAM for this part. I have not even started yet, so you guys will get the very beginning, which is good. Sorry about the tripod. It's kind of old, and it's not a smooth tripod, but I'm not going to be moving it much, so anyways. Okay, so after you install Unibeast, Unibeast on a flash drive, which is, I have this little flash drive in here, which is good. Then you want to boot up from the non-UEFI. See how right here there is a UEFI? That one is not the one you want. So, okay. So you'll first boot into this. And I already have a hard drive here that is actually bootable. I could boot into it if I felt like it, but that's not what the guide's about. So the boot flags that you need for this is -X, -V, max, min, equals 4096. Now, even though you have taken out a stick of RAM and you only have 4 in your system at the moment, you still want to have a stick of RAM out. So, and then it's NV underscore disable equals 1. That disables your graphics card at the moment because that's what you need to do, because obviously we don't have drivers for it yet. Okay, so next is we do this, and then boom. So this will all load up. Now, there has been points in time where I have gotten a kernel panic, but I type in the exact same thing, and it still works, which is good. Everything is good. So, I'll cut back when this is done. Okay, so now we are booting into the installer itself, and everything should be quite laggy, as you can see here. This is just because we're only using 8 megabytes of VRAM on our GTX 980 right now. Now, this will not always be permanent. We will install drivers, and it will run flawlessly. So, first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to erase your hard drive. Whatever it is, just, erase it. Typically, you want to name it Hackintosh HD. You can name it typically whatever, but I mean, that's just what I've always named it, and it's worked. So, just Hackintosh HD, and then erase it. And then also, it has to be a GUID partition table. That's what it has to be partitioned as. Because if it's partitioned as, I don't know, I can't really click on it, but there's master boot records, sorry, GPT, and then Apple partition table, I think. But you want GPT, and then after this, you can just exit right out, and then you're going to go to continue, agree, click on the disk you want to install it on, and hit continue. Now, this is going to take probably about 16 minutes, usually maybe a little bit longer. At this point, there is 2 points where your hard drive could crash and you could get a kernel panic, or you could get an essentials.package error, which shouldn't happen because we took out a stick of RAM and that's what causes it. But there's a 16-minute mark, so it doesn't get past 16 minutes. It usually crashes right away. Or there is the 7-minute mark where it typically says essentials.package error, and then it stops. But we got past the 16-minute error, so that's good. So I'll just come back, I'll just speed it up, I guess, and I'll be back when it is close or almost done. So I'm back now, and here the computer is about to restart. Ta-da! Okay, so after it restarts, you're going to want to button mash F12 to get back into the boot menu on your motherboard because you don't have a bootloader currently on your hard drive. That's okay. So here we are back into this. Once again, boot from whatever your flash drive is called, the non-UEFI version of it though. Not this one, but this one. Then you're going to come over here, -X, -V. Let's try max mem equals 4096. Then we want nv_disable equals 1, -no, -ZP. Okay, so I'll be back once again when this is finished. When it's doing whatever. So we're back, and it finally finished doing whatever it needed to do. And hopefully from here, it booted into the installer. Not the installer, the operating system itself. Okay, good. So space, enter. Now this should spin up, and then the screen should freak out a little bit, and it should go into the operating system itself and take a while to load. That's usually what happens. But that's all good. And if it doesn't work this time, then it's time to take out the graphics card. And this is a 100%, I'm going to test it out again, but have it on video. So if I need to, I can go back and watch this video if I ever need to install it ever again. But that's what we need. So if it just sits here and spins, which it tends to do at some points in time, then we will, we're going to take out the graphics card here, and I know some people wouldn't like to do that, but just take it out, and then we'll turn off the system first, just to have it off, and then I will turn off the computer in the back, and then I will remove the graphics card. Alright, so this is off. PCI Express power cables are out. That's good. Over here, oops, sorry, a speaker fell. That was not my graphics card. So we're going to want to take out also the DVI or HDMI, whatever, it depends on which one you have plugged in out of the back. Make sure you get the screw so it doesn't fall. Okay, so here we go. This is sketchy part. You take out your $600 graphics card. Okay. What is this? Didn't take out the DVI. I forgot I had that in there. Okay, so here we go. Also, just another thing of proof. As you can tell, this is a GTX 980. As it says right here, I'm just going to set this aside for now. Actually, I'm going to put it over here on this table so I don't shock anything or shock it itself. Okay, so that's there. Now we can turn the computer back on, and then I need to plug in the HDMI to the integrated graphics, which I hope I didn't turn off, because if I did, that'd be the stupidest thing I've done in a really long time. Hold on, I just gotta find the graphics itself. Okay, so it's plugged into HDMI, and fingers crossed that I didn't turn off integrated graphics in the BIOS itself. That'd be pretty stupid of me to do. Yep, okay. So, I know how to get out of this. You're going to want to button mash delete. And even though you can't see anything, let's hope that it booted into the BIOS, and then we can hit F2 once, F7, enter. Please boot into the BIOS. then I have to probably hit F10, enter. Maybe I have to restart the computer. If not, then I'll put my graphics card back in. It's not that big of a deal. Plug the HDMI back in, turn on the graphics for the integrated, and then install. Yep, okay, so it's looking like I went full retard. So, okay, then make sure you haven't turned off your integrated graphics yet, which at this point I don't think I told you to, so you shouldn't have. So that's good. So we're going to turn that off. We turned off the back power. Then we're just going to go ahead and plug the graphics card right back in. Okay, so the graphics card is in. Let me screw it in real quick. Oh, hold on, I dropped the screw. I don't know where it went. There it is. I'll move the tripod out of the way. You guys can watch me struggle to put this screw in. Okay. So at this point, I'll get back into the stupid graphics card. Turn it on. Oh wait. Plug in the PCI Express power as well. Turn on the power switch in the back. Turn it on. 12. Okay. So now we're going to enter setup F2. I'm just going to make sure that, okay, so you want that enabled, whatever, save and exit, yep. Okay, now after this, after it goes back into the boot, whatever, we can turn it off. Okay, yep. So now we can turn off the computer. Sorry, you were going to boot into Clover. That's whatever. We don't need it to. Okay. So now I'm going to plug in the HDMI back into the integrated graphics and take out the graphics card for the second time. Okay, so now we're going to take out the graphics card for the second time. Take out the power. Okay, so power is off. Take out the power. Unscrew the screw. Once again, GTX 980. Putting it to the side for now. Okay, so power switch in the back. Turn it on. Sorry if I don't know. It doesn't look like I know what I'm doing. I mean, I have installed this, and I'll prove it to you after this. I have an SSD that has it. So once again, boot back into this. Now you can only, now you don't have to boot with all those other crazy flags because you don't have a graphics card in. So you can do -X and -V. Boom. Okay. So I'll be back after this does this. So once again, we're back. This time, we are in safe boot mode, and it looks like we're in 1920 by 1080, and the mouse lag is gone. Give it a second to boot up. Alright, so now that we're in the operating system, it's time to install MultiBeast and NVIDIA WebDrivers. So here we go. We'll type in MultiBeast again. Oh, come on, you can load. It's not the fastest hard drive in the world. You gotta remember that's a 5400 RPM, 160 gig hard drive, probably from like forever ago. So MultiBeast. Then we want, it's a Tony Mac x86. Downloads. Scroll all the way down until you see MultiBeast Yosemite 7.1.1. So we're gonna wait for this to download. This is like 30 megs, I think, or 30 megabytes. That's almost done. Just give it a second. Alright, so just go ahead and open this and open MultiBeast. So open, we want this to be completely open. So here we have MultiBeast itself right here in this window. I'll close everything else so you can see it better. Alright, so here we go. So on quick start, you want DSDT free. Then on audio, on drivers, you want Realtek ALC 1150. This is what you want. That's being dumb. I might have to re-download it again because this has happened before, but that's fine. Totally fine. Okay, so you want third-party SATA. Your graphics, you don't want anything since you're not running integrated graphics. Miscellaneous, you want fake SMC plugins, and USB 3.0 universal. This is not what you want. You do not want that. Network, you want to go to Intel, and you want Intel E1000E version 3.0.4.1a. System, you don't want anything on here. Bootloader, you obviously want Chimera at first, but we are not going to use that as our main priority. So you don't want that. You want this, so that's good. Keep that on. You want Kext dev mode. You don't want kernel cache, and you want verbose mode. Alright, so after all this, we're going to install, and hopefully I don't get an error that tells me what's up. It does. Okay, good. So we didn't get an error. That's decent. That's what we needed. So I'll get back to you after this is finished installing, or I'll just speed it up. So now we're back, and this is finished installing. As you can see, install succeeded. So that is good. Next, we're going to get the NVIDIA WebDrivers for our GTX 980 graphics card. So you want to type in NVIDIA WebDrivers 343.02.01 F01. Now it should be the first thing that pops up. This is 50 megabytes, Mac OS X Yosemite 10.10.1, which is what we need. So yes. Now over here it'll say it doesn't support your graphics card. Trust me, it definitely supports your graphics card. You can read all that if you feel like it. I don't need to. So you're going to download it, agree, and download. So after this is finished downloading, which it is, going to continue, agree, install. password, enter. Okay, so this is installing, and this should not take long. The reason why we're going to use Clover instead of Chimera as your main bootloader is with Chimera there's an issue in Yosemite that does not allow you to use audio correctly. And so the only way to get audio is to either buy an adapter or use Clover. And we're going to go for the cheap route and use Clover, which I'm totally fine with Clover. Clover's amazing. So now we are able to restart. So restart the computer. Then once again, this time we're going to want and hit delete instead of F12. This is so we can get into the BIOS, so we can change the main hard drive that boots up first, which we want it to be now the hard drive instead of the flash drive. So at this point, you can take out the flash drive, which is right here. So, yep. So that's out. We can go to boot sequence. We can go to, we want the WDC WD1600, which is the name of the hard drive. We want the non-UEFI version at first, but later on we're going to use UEFI when we're booting into Clover. So next, you'll want to hit enter. So we want to do startup options now. So we have -X. And actually we don't need these. We need -V. I think that's it. Yeah, -V. Since we installed the drivers now, I'm just going to boot up and make sure that it actually boots up this time, which is good. Hope what has 2 -Vs because I accidentally did it in the thing. So okay, so after this boots up, we're going to put back in the RAM, we're going to put back in the graphics card, and then we're just going to boot in a Mac. And then we will install Clover, and then that'll be it. You'll have a successful working Hackintosh with a GTX 980. Okay, so just using -V, we have now booted into Mac. And I'm just going to make sure it works really quick. We should see up here in a second. Yep. Okay, before we boot up, we want to select NVIDIA WebDriver, not OS X default, and then we're going to restart. And before it can finish restarting, we're going to stop and we're going to put in the graphics card and the RAM. Okay, so just give it a second. It should realize what's going on and try to boot back into the hard drive, but we're going to deny it of that option. Okay, well, we can turn it off now and it'll be fine. Okay, so it's currently off. And I'll point this at the computer itself so you can see that I actually am installing this RAM and graphics card back into the computer. So here we have the stick of RAM that we're going to install back into the computer. It's a 4 gig stick of Ballistics Sport by Crucial. So, we should actually definitely turn off the computer first. I almost just fried some RAM. I'm sure it would have been fine, but definitely don't like to take risks. So we're going to press the RAM in. Okay, so it's in on both sides. Now for the graphics card, the big, giant GTX 980. So here we go. This thing's kind of hard to maneuver in this case, to be totally honest. cables. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay. So that clicked in there. That's gonna sag for a second until I get a screw in there. But that was close. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna move the camera some more. Okay, that's screwed in now. That was a pain in the butt. The RAM is back in. I'm gonna plug in the HDMI. HDMI once again is in. And now we plug in the power. Alright. Flip it back on. Ta-da! Now we will turn back on once again. We're gonna hit F12 because we're gonna go to the BIOS, because I found that if you have integrated graphics on, it freaks out, doesn't know what to do. So now we're gonna go turn off integrated graphics again, because we don't need to go like take out the graphics card or the RAM anymore. So that's good. So okay. So we're gonna go over here. Oh. Okay, F10, enter. Okay, so this is gonna boot into the hard drive, which is what we wanted to do. We need to press one thing, since we haven't configured it yet, and since we're not currently using this as a primary bootloader. Alright, so negative, no, it's not negative, it's NVDA. It's very important. This is how you get your graphics card to work. So NVDA underscore DRV equals 1. So after this, I'm going to go ahead and boot up. Now, if I'm correct, we should not have audio unless they came out with a new fix in the last, I don't know, week or so and fixed that. But I highly doubt they did since the last time I installed this, which was like 4 days ago, I believe. So, move the tripod back over here. Okay, so it booted up just fine, as you can see. This is 100% running off of the GTX 980. I don't know any other way to prove it to you other than it's in there, and you just watch me disable graphics. So space, enter, then we'll go in here, and then it will show you, up here I'm going to choose about this Mac. Then as you can see right here, I zoom in, says NVIDIA GeForce GTX 980 4095 megabytes. So there you go. Okay, so now we're gonna go check if we have sound, which I don't believe we do. Wow, we have sound. Never mind, they fixed it. Just to make sure, I'm going to play a sound effect. Okay, they can't hear it out of that one. Come on. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, never mind. You don't need to install Clover anymore. You can straight up use that. Alright, that's also another good thing, because now we can zoom back out. Okay, so that just chunked off a whole nother process that we didn't have to do, which is amazing and great all at the same time. Awesome. Okay, amazing. That's great. That's still blowing my mind. I didn't know that. Yep, that's amazing. It's funk. Yep, that one. Okay, so next, what am I thinking of? What do I have to go do? Oh, yes. Okay, so if you want to go to Finder, you're going to find, actually, no, you're going to go to Go. Sorry, I lied to you. You're going to go to Computer. You're going to click on your Hackintosh HD, and there will be folders that pop up. You're going to want to click on Extra. And now you want your, I think this is the correct one, org.chameleon boot plist. Okay, wonderful. This is, yep, this is what we want. Okay, so, duplicate. I don't have permission to write to this drive. Okay, delete copy. I'll be right back. I need to fix something real quick.